This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. So I guess today we're going to get some conversations about Big Meech leaking. I mean, I'm getting sick of the anticipation of everything, you know? Just drop it. If we're gonna have all this, what are we holding out on? You know, if there's all these conversations with Big Meech talking to Cuff, with 42 Doug on the phone, 42 Doug's giving Big Meech $100K, right? We have all these things going on, right? Why are we holding this stuff? Like, are you guys expecting a payment from Big Meech or something to stop it? Because just drop it. Let it be out there, and then let the internet do its thing, you know, because the paperwork says plenty, okay, with Tammy. If you read the paperwork of Tammy on the stand being cross-examined by Cuffy's lawyers in the Frank hearing, right? And there's some other stuff that they're redacted, and we find the redacted documents, you know? But it's very clear that Big Meech wasn't a stand-up guy, okay? We know that, okay? We all know also it doesn't paint him on the stand or giving statements, right? But we know that Tammy had an agreement in play with Cromer and that she wanted a time reduction for Big Meech. She was getting paid as an informant. We know that Big Meech put Suarez in contact with Tammy. Suarez was a guy he met in jail in 2006 who got out of jail, and he had he would move weight, and so that was a connect. And then Cuffy got involved to originally write the BMF movie, so he was involved with Tammy Cowin, the assistant of Meech, quote unquote. And this is where it gets goofy. I'm just painting this to lead up to this other thing, okay? Because we have to look at Cuffy as like, dude, you kind of did this to yourself at the same time, right? So then I guess they're saying that Meech was down bad, and they gave Meech some money. Remember, it said that in that text message to 50 Cent, right? I'm assuming that was to 50 Cent, and it said Doug was on the phone. This is a very weird text message. It says, I'm not going to blow you up, bro, but Cuffy nephew said he has an audio of him and 42 Doug on a 3-way call with Meech. So this is Cuffy's nephew. I'm assuming this is like Bebe, the guy that's calling everybody. So they about to drop it of him confronting Meech and said Meech was down bad, so he sent money to him. On him confronting Meech, saying Meech was down bad, so I'm saying Cuffy. They got to take out the keys and be very specific, right? He sent money to him and put and merch, put him with Tammy. He got records to prove it. Okay, so he sent Meech some money. Oh no, he sent money, not merch. He sent money. It says merch, but he meant Meech, right? So he says he sent money to him, and Meech put him with Tammy. So. Boom. So now you're with Tammy. He got records to prove it. Yeah, but put him with Tammy for what? See, because the Cuffy's always talking about, I was working on a movie with Tammy, right? So maybe he put him with Tammy for the movie. Let's break this. This is a stupid text message if you're not being specific. Oh, that's why 50 Cent confront him saying what, champ? On him setting up Cuffy to originally get out early. Dude gave real-life testimony. Okay, like, when you're going to out somebody, and I'm not talking about 50 Cent. 50 is just exposing the text messages he's getting, right? If the nephew is trying to out Meech, organize the way you write things. Because when you put things out here like this, it's just like, it's a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, right? So basically, the way I look at it is that, yeah, Meech is not a great person, okay? If he put Cuffy with Tammy knowing she's a CI, which she probably, come on, how did he not know, right? Like, let's be honest. Because how did she meet, what's that guy's name? How did she meet Jack Harvey to turn in Terry White? How would she know to go to Jack Harvey, the very agent that locked up BMF. It makes no sense. I don't believe in coincidences. I'm sorry. I just don't. So then Cuffy, this is where it gets goofy, okay? Cuffy goes to Tammy. She says, Buddy told me to, remember, it says this. She says this. She says, Buddy told to get Suarez's number, right? Buddy was the code name for Meech, right? So she gives him Suarez's number. Then she's like on the phone with Suarez because like I guess a load was supposed to get picked up by Cuffy and he wasn't answering his phone, which is stupid. Like if you're expecting something and you're not answering your phone, that's great, bro. You're picking up a load that could send you to jail, right? And now she's forced to contact. He's supposed to forced to contact Suarez, Tammy, who's an informant, right? So now Cromer's alerted to this deal that's going down that day. And then Cuffy, she has Cuffy's other phone number, calls him, puts him in contact with Suarez, so they know the deal happened, right? But then he proceeds to screw Suarez over and not pay him. She says that she later followed up with Suarez about the deal, and he says, yeah, he didn't pay me all the money, blah, 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 right? And then Cuffy, knowing he can't go back to Suarez because he screwed him over and to give him all the money, right? I don't get this. If you're dealing with illegal substances, at least do good business, right? At least do good business. He goes to Tammy, who he doesn't even really know like that. The only thing he was told, he trusted Meech to call her to get in touch with this very guy that he knew, right? So that's all you should trust. At that point, it's over, right? But he goes back to Tammy. He says, hey, you know anybody else where I can get some work from? I mean, at that point, you're begging, like, hey, do you know where the local FBI agency is so I can go to jail? I mean, let's not feel so bad for Cuffy. I mean, I do it should be known that Big Meech is this is his character, right? So people don't believe this character that he's the most stand-up individual ever, right? And he didn't get a time cut for this stuff because I saw this lawyer break it down. Him and Terry were due for a time cut. Meech didn't put his time cut in soon enough like Terry did, and that's why he didn't come out then. But also, Meech got into some trouble in prison that Terry didn't get in trouble in prison. So that's why his was more delayed than Terry's was, okay? And Terry was sped up a little bit because of the government shutdown and his health concerns, you know. So anyways, they could have had different judges looking at it. So Cuffy kind of did this to himself because when he called Tammy for more, I need more work, but I can't go back to Suarez, right? Because you screwed him over. Now she puts you with she's like, oh, I got somebody, because Cromer said, I got somebody. He put you with another confidential informant. And you know that gave him that probably broke into a whole new section of this case, you know, where now it's not just about Meech and Tammy, it's about this other informant. So like they had wiretaps on you, and they had dirt on him, you know. They had dirt on him, so he kind of asked to go to jail. Like, you get too greedy, you know. There's no way in hell, if I had already done 10 years like Cuffy had done, I would get back into the drug game at all. I would figure something else out, because now you're in jail for 27 years. So you think about it. 37 years, maybe more. I don't know if you went to jail before that. In prison, you've spent most of your life in jail. You spent most of your life in jail. So I can get the part, admit your wrongdoing, right? But also, yeah, you can paint Meech as you can't really call him a blatant snitch, but you can call him like an informer of some or just a horrible person, you know? Like, he sent you into the devil's den, you know? So yeah, you could say, oh, he introduced me to an informant. Yeah. So he's not a stand-up person. It's almost like Meech didn't like you. To be honest with you, I don't think Meech liked Cuffy too much. I think he thought they were bigger friends than he thought they were. Seems like Meech wanted him. It's like, you know what? I don't like Cuffy anyways. I'm sending him to jail. Because that's what it seems like. Like, he didn't have to blatantly tell him. He just had to like, oh, yeah. It's almost like, remember when AZ, do you ever watch the movie Paid in Full? Remember when the scene where Alpo takes out Rich Porter and AZ knows it, right? And the whole movie, these federal agents were trying to like get AZ work in the movie, right? And he was like, nah. He's like, I could smell the feds on these guys, right? He'd seen them like 3 times, right? But he had their number. And at the end of the movie, he connects Alpo with him because he knows what he did to Rich, right? That's the same situation in a way. I mean, it's similar. He sent him in to a connect with the feds. He knew they were the feds, and he sent Alpo to the feds, and he got arrested, right? I mean, think about it, you know? He didn't handle the situation himself. He sent him to the feds. So why don't we look at that? It's the same situation. You can't really call it snitching, but you could call it, why didn't we look at, that now that you look at it like that, it's like, why don't we look at AZ Faison as like, I mean, he did take the stand with the guys who robbed his crib, too, and shot those 2 people. And he was part of the drug game, and that's part of the drug game, right? But he said, nah, it's a family thing. So, there's these codes. The streets just, you don't want to be a drug dealer, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you hear these stories. If somebody hears these stories and then the aftermath of the stories, if you still want to go into that life, you're crazy, bro. There's no honor amongst thieves. There's no honor in business, really. There's more honor in business, but there's really no honor amongst thieves. Period. Okay? Very few people will not tell on people. There's no honor amongst the police and the thieves either when they promise you something. Oh, yeah, time cut? We could give you that. Don't worry about it. We got you. Remember White Boy Rick, right? They promised him, you have immunity, bro. Just take down these drug dealers. And they allowed him to sell drugs until one day they were like, you know what? We're going to bust you on them drugs. There's plenty of instances where that happens. There was this guy that Tom Cruise played in a movie where he was moving drugs down like below the border, below the equator, I think. And on the way back, they just wanted him to take pictures of the Nicaraguans, right? Because there was a war conflict going on there. And they let him move his drugs, right, through planes. Until one day, that war was over, and he wasn't useful anymore. So they came in and arrested him for all his past crimes. I mean, that's crazy, bro. You can't trust anything in this. So is this business even worth getting into? No. So anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. Tell me what you guys think below. Peace.